let's move on to Best playoff tiers. All right, so I'm going to tell Logan my playoff tiers, and we'll get his reaction from it. Okay. All right, so going from the bottom to the top. At the bottom, dead man walking. All right, Packers, Chargers. Look, Packers on a 4-game losing streak going into the playoffs. You do not want to lose 4 straight games going into the playoffs, right? The morale can't be. I mean, of course, it's a new season, right? The regular season kind of doesn't matter because the postseason, right? But at the end of the day, going in on a 4-game losing streak, you have not won a game without Michael Parsons. So why do I believe that's going to start now? When you're playing these really good teams in the playoffs, the Bears are no slouch, right? The Bears are a good team, and it's going to be tough for you to go into Soldier Field and get that W. So I think they're dead men walking. Chargers, they're so beat up on the offensive line that it does not take a Texans D line or a Steelers D line to give Justin Herbert a bad day. The Patriots D line is not that great, right? Their pass rush is not that great, but they can be against this O line. You see what I'm saying? So Justin Herbert got his hands full. I just can't see them going to Foxborough getting the W. So they're dead men walking. I think they're both first round exits. All right. Next up, Jaden Daniels, question mark. This is the Panthers. If the Panthers want any chance to get to the Super Bowl, Bryce Young has to give us what Jaden Daniels gave us last year, right? Jaden Daniels didn't have great weapons last year and took his team to the NFC Championship. I think Bryce Young, you can make an argument that his weapons are a little bit better than what Jaden Daniels had last year. And I think that if they want to get there, it has to be on Bryce Young's shoulders, right? Show us why you was the #1 overall pick, right? So that's the kind of pressure that's going to be on him throughout this postseason. And hey, you pull off a Jaden Daniels kind of performance, your team can get there, right? Because we saw it last year. Next up, unfortunate first round matchups. Look, these two teams had great seasons, right? And both of their coaches should be in the coach of the year conversations. But it's so unfortunate that I think in round one, after having a great season, the Jaguars got to play Josh Allen. Right, it's so unfortunate. You work hard to win your division, and then you get Josh Allen coming into your stadium, which kind
Instead
of
of
what I talked about
Pittsburgh,
earlier.
they'd rather have Pittsburgh.
See, you just couldn't. You see what I'm saying? He has to take shots, ladies and gentlemen. This is what Logan does. Okay, he
Well,
has
I
to take
just
shots.
is that not true?
I mean, duh, yeah, of course it's true.
Yeah. Okay. Exactly. So I'm right.
Am I lying? But Pittsburgh has nothing to do with this.
You're
Anyways,
right. You're right.
Jacksonville. All right. Great season. You got to get Josh Allen round one. It's a lot to deal with. 49ers beat up all year. Kyle
Mm.
Shanahan figured it out. Got this team one win away from being the #1 seed, having home field advantage, and the Super Bowl being in San Francisco, right? So you really had it all in your hands. It fell apart after you lost to the Seahawks. You got to play the Eagles round one, right? Like, it's just unfortunate. These great seasons. And mind you, the 49ers record, they could have been a top seed in the AFC, right? Because their record was so good. Every team in the NFC West record was good, but unfortunately, they got to be on the road in Philly, and in Jacksonville got to host the Bills. So it's just unfortunate first round matchups. Next up, silencer. Both of these teams can silence the critics. The Patriots. All I've been hearing all year is that the Patriots have an easy schedule. They're not playing nobody, right? That's all I've been hearing. I heard Cam Newton taking shots at Drake May, saying he's not a game changer, right? Make it make sense, right? So they've been getting a lot of slander, and they can silence everybody with a nice little postseason run. Pittsburgh, right? Mike Tomlin can't win a playoff game. Silence the critics, right? Silence the critics. Get the W this upcoming weekend, right? Aaron Rodgers, he's too old. He's washed. Well, get a playoff win, right? Get to the divisional round at least, and nobody can say nothing about this team, right? So both teams have a chance to silence the critics. I think they can both do it. All right, next up, offense, question mark. Broncos, Texans. You know best as a Texans guy. If your offense can put up something, right? Y'all are going to win 9 times out of 10 because of how great your defense is. Same with the Broncos. If Bo Nix can put up something, right? Just don't go non-existent. You can win any game because of how good your defense is. So both of these teams, tier 1 defenses, but it's up to Bo Nix and CJ Stroud to determine how far they go in these playoffs because it's going to come down to can y'all produce on the offensive side. All right. Next up, beginning or end. Okay. Bears, Rams. This can be the beginning of something special for the Bears, right? You get your new head coach. You got your second-year quarterback in Caleb Williams. This can be the beginning of something special if they make a nice little run. They ain't got to get to the Super Bowl, right? But make a nice little run, and it's the beginning of something special. Then the end for the Rams. This can be the end of something special. If Matthew Stafford win the Super Bowl this year, I think he's going to retire, and he should, right? No doubt about it. If he get the Super Bowl,
Yep.
might get the MVP. This is the great way to go out, right? So the Rams can go out on a high note, and then the Bears can start something special. So beginning or end for those two teams. Next up, I believe I changed this to fraudulent #1 seed, I believe. Right. I have QB holds fate right here, but I think I changed this to fraudulent 1 seed, the most fraudulent 1 seed ever. But either way, it comes down to Sam Darnold. Sam Darnold is the reason why I'm saying they're the most fraudulent 1 seed ever. And Sam Darnold is also why I'm saying the QB holds their fate. I believe in the playoffs that Sam Darnold is going to fold. I believe it with all my heart. I believe that they are going to lose in the divisional round. 9 times out of 10, when teams are the one seed, we don't guarantee them a loss their first game in the playoffs, right? The Lions last year, they lost to the Commanders, but we wasn't guaranteed. Nobody was picking the Commanders to go into Detroit and win because we thought that was
Mm-mm.
a solid one seed, right? I do believe that if teams can take away this run game from the Seahawks against the 49ers cannot stop the run. Sam Darnold had like 144 passing yards, something like that, right? He didn't have to do much. But when teams force him to put the ball in the air, what's going to happen? We know what he does. He turns the ball over. So I think that's why they're going to be a divisional round exit. Luckily, they got the home field advantage. They got the first round bye, but I think it's not going to last long because I just don't trust Sam Darnold. And believe it or not, on ESPN, on Pick'em, 23% of people are picking the Seahawks to win the Super Bowl. That's the most, right? So everybody's on the Seahawks hype train. I think they're overrated, very fraudulent, and Sam Darnold is the reason why. All right, next up, put up or blow up. Bills. Hey, if you don't get to the Super Bowl, it's gonna be problems. The media is going to crucify Josh Allen
Kill
for
him.
one, and secondly, Sean McDermott, you're gone. I think he is. I think if they do not get to the Super Bowl,
And then
he's
John
gone.
Harbaugh's waiting around, just seeing if he
Hitting,
gets a phone
boom,
call.
John Harbaugh sitting right there waiting for somebody to call him, right? So, in my opinion, if they lose that game this postseason, it's going to be like I brought up a couple seconds ago, the Chiefs game from a couple years ago. They're going to get outscored. And if they get outscored, that's Sean McDermott's fault because you're a defensive guy, right? So, put up or blow up. You got to make it to the Super Bowl this year. If you don't, it's going to be a problem. I could see a John Harbaugh coming to Buffalo next year if they don't get to the big game. And at the top of the tiers, run it back. The Eagles. Look, this is the team that when I look at them, I don't see a weakness. Of course, they played slow this year, right? The offense didn't look great 100% of the time, but we saw flashes. And I think now that we're in the playoffs, we know how Jalen Hurts performs in the playoffs. We know they can get the run game going. The defense is great. Over the past like 2 months, they've been one of the best defenses in the league, right? So when I look at this team, I don't see weaknesses. I just don't. So there's no excuse not to run it back, right? I think they are in prime position to do so. So those are my playoff tiers. Logan, tell me one thing you like and one thing you do not like.
I don't like I'm saying this, but what I like is I agree with most of it. Um,
Of course you should. Why not?
the disagreement I think is I don't know if I'm so confident in the Pats. I might be contradicting myself later in the episode, but
Mm-hmm.
the Pats Chargers game's really interesting to me. For what like with their defense, the Chargers defense is they don't get the flash that the Texans, the Broncos have because they don't have the
Facts.
names.
Facts.
But man, they're good.
They've been solid,
And
no doubt. Mm-hmm.
the Pats offensive line's been banged up. Their weapons aren't great, so I don't imagine that the Chargers are going to sit back and play a lot of zone that game. They're going to try to heat up Drake. Now, if the Pats win, I will not be surprised. But like you said, the Chargers offensive line has been banged up like crazy. I mean, they got two of the best tackles in the league that aren't even playing.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
And like you said, the Patriots defensive line is not great at getting after the quarterback. They're good at stopping the run, but they're not good at getting after the quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
How do you beat the Chargers? You sack Justin Herbert. So that game's just a little interesting. Not saying I disagree. And then the only other thing I really disagree with is the Rams. I don't think that this is the end. I think the end of the Rams is when Sean McVay decides to retire
Okay.
because of how they've been developing their offensive line and their defense. I don't think they're going to be done. Now, Super Bowl window and done might be two different things because I think they'll be in contention to win the division. I don't think we'll see a ceiling that they have with Matt Stafford because,
Facts.
yeah, I mean, you have Matt Stafford on your team with Sean McVay and a good defense. Yeah, you're going to win most of the games you play.
Mm-hmm.
But the way they've been drafting, the way I think Sean McVay could, like what he, now I'm not saying Jared Goff is terrible, but that's comparing apples to oranges when talking about Matt Stafford. And he went to a Super Bowl with
Facts.
him. So I don't think they're done. And then I don't know. I think the Eagles are real fraudulent this year. I know it's hard to say otherwise because their defense is finally getting healthier. But I think this is the time of the year where if you're a good team, people know you're a good team. Like no one's sneaking up on anyone.
Yeah.
The Eagles have one, which is like their roster, like Coach Sirianni's done a great job, regardless of what people think about him.
Yeah.
Um, I think it's just too late in the year to be like, oh yeah, we'll flip the switch on because it's playoff time. I don't think that's how it works. Will I be surprised if they do? No, but I don't see them making a far run. Other than that, I mean, I agree with almost everything really. Really interested to see what the storyline behind Sam Darnold is after this postseason. Because I don't think the Seahawks are overrated, but I do think if he plays good, they can win it all.
No doubt.
And
No
so
doubt.
from that, I don't think they're overrated. Like their defense is legit top to bottom, every level of the field.
Yep.
If they get good play out of him, they are going to make a run.
And that is what I'm banking against is
Exactly. So,
him. Yeah.
and he could change a whole lot of story. And the thing is, too, he can make a whole lot of money. He's only on a 3-year deal. He gets that Super Bowl behind his belt.
Get extension for sure.
Yeah. And so,
For
like
sure.
that is real interesting. But more so, it's going to be a good playoffs. I got it. This is, I can't, it's hard to pick one or two teams on both sides. And then another thing I agree with the Packers. I think they're done.
I think so.
Like
Yes.
Josh Jacobs getting banged up, their offensive line's banged up. Jordan Love just got concussed, I think, a couple weeks ago against the Bears.
He ain't played
Um,
since.
yeah, exactly. And then losing Michael Parsons after trading for him. I mean, if I'm a Packers fan, I'm in bad shape because it looked like for a while that they were going to make a deep run. I just don't think they have enough ammunition to pick up what they're losing right now with Josh Jacobs banged up, their offensive line, Jordan Love maybe being rusty going into it. So, um, but it'll be interesting. There's a lot of storylines out there.
Facts. 100%. I agree. 1000%. Look at Logan giving me credit for once. I appreciate it. It's about time. It's
It
about
pains
time.
me, but I don't have much to say because I agree with most of the list.
I appreciate it. I
Yo,
appreciate it.
they
But
feeling like and sub and leave a comment down below. Yo.